forward to your questions.
Thank you, General. I'll first recognize myself for 5 minutes before we get into questions for both sides. Obviously, Mr. Secretary, the committee is continually concerned about the reported 18 to 24-month delay in the Columbia-class submarine program. As you know, the retirement timeline for the Ohio-class boats is apparently, unless I'm corrected on this, is non-negotiable due to the aging hulls, which means any further delay in Columbia directly threatens our ability to meet STRATCOM's minimum deterrence requirement. As you well know, the significant part of our nuclear deterrent is carried on the Columbia, will be carried on the Columbia program. Secretary Phelan and maybe Admiral Kilby may want to come into this too. You can walk us through the primary drivers behind the additional 18 to 24-month delay of the Columbia-class submarine program, and beyond the issues we've already seen, whether supply chain disruptions, workforce shortages, or integration challenges, what risks remain most concerning to you as we look ahead?
Thank you for the question. I know it's an important issue to you and top priority for myself and Admiral Kilby as well. I think it is a combination of a first-of-class ship, still an inexperienced workforce. It is supply chain issues. It is also a lack of modernization in some of this in some of the plants. And I think honestly, it's just sitting and going and talking to the workers and ways of improving workflow. And so these are things that I've met with the CEO of General Dynamics and Huntington Ingalls to talk about this and go through it. It was very interesting in some of their assessments of what they did not perceive to be as problems, where when I went and sat down with the workers, I got completely the opposite. So let me just give you a couple of examples which might help you understand in ways we think we can shift the schedule left. So in Japan, I went to JMU. They get the productivity out of 1 8-hour shift that we get out of 3 shifts. I believe that's for 2 reasons. One, their average worker is 50 years old. It is a career. They spend time there. They've been in that shipyard a very long time. 2, when I spoke to the welders in Japan, they spend 0 time on paperwork. Our welders spend between 30 and 40% of their time filling out paperwork to match designs, etc. That is a problem. The training, when they come from training and get actually on site, it's completely different. So these are things that they need to work on, and I've spoken to General Dynamics about it. We are working on a couple of different other ideas as well. There were a couple things I saw at Bath Iron Works, to be honest, that were excellent. And there were some things being implemented at Portsmouth that were really good that we need to start to integrate and do. This is a very big concern. I do think we can get the calendar shifted left, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of effort, and it is my #1 priority right now, given the strategic importance of this.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for that. Admiral, if you want to add anything to that?
I think the Secretary covered it. I do have the same concerns he does. I have the same observations about maturity of workforce and skilled labor. So at our public yards and our private yards, there has been a diminished, a loss of that experience. So the supervisors don't have the same experience they used to. That's an important thing for us to correct. Additionally, we're looking at extending those hulls in our Ohio class that can make sure we don't have a gap in strategic deterrence. The first one is USS Alaska, which will extend it through APIRA in 2029, and there are 4 additional hulls. So I think that's a insurance policy to make sure that we are still the most survivable leg of the nuclear triad, sir.
Thank you for that. It's interesting to note that what's going on in Japan and South Korea, where they have a significant amount of the world's shipbuilding capability, is we've dropped now to what, 3% of shipbuilding worldwide. The Chinese are, what, 50% of ship construction, the Japanese and the Koreans are about 35–40% combined, and then the rest of the world. And so it's disappointing that we've got ourselves in this situation. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, as you mentioned, Mr. Secretary, to straighten this out. Ms. McCullum, you wanted me to recognize Mr. Cuellar. Mr. Cuellar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.